Folks a chance to get in here. I know some people are just getting off work and fighting rush hour traffic. So we'll wait a few. But again, I do feel that this is just extremely important to provide a space just based on what I saw this week. And I know that there are people in need of resources that are still in situations or halfway out the door or have walked out the door but are considering going back. Um, and I found with just the peer-to-peer support that a lot of people are able to get some really good feedback. Um, if they share, if they don't share, they're able to still do some takeaways from people who are commenting. Anyone who is a survivor of domestic or intimate partner abuse knows that it is not easy to get from point A to point B, but so often our lives depend on it. So, like I said, I'll wait a few. All right, exciting to just kind of start with what we already know, which is that with COVID-19 and the pandemic, that statistics have risen um, because more people are being affected. And in early 2020, let's say January 2020, a lot of people were in love and decided to move people in without really knowing them, and then found themselves quarantined with someone that they could not get rid of. And because of that, those close quarters, and of course, people being impacted financially, worrying if they were going to lose their homes, what was going to happen, would there be an unemployment system for them to fall back on? And for a lot of people, the wait was lengthy if it ever stopped. So, you know, the pandemic continued to stretch on, and now people were involved in situations where they were not safe. So let's talk about that. We know that um, it doesn't take a lot for an abuser. We know that abusers look for certain personality types. We know that abusers look for people who may be super caring and helpful, and they exploit that. And so we also know that a lot of abusers are narcissists. So all of this means that we have to be on our P's and Q's as women, um, as mothers who are charged with protecting those that we bring into this world. We have to be really particular about who comes into our space. And and sometimes, depending on what age we are or where we are in life, that's just what we do. We don't mind taking a chance, but we have to have boundaries in place. And so now we have this large group of women who, have new people in their household, and now they've been there a year and a half, and they may have taken off a bit more than they could chew. And we know that people need resources. I'm going to say a couple of things about um, some very affordable, accessible services, because if services are available but you can't access them, then it's not helping you. So the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence lists out by state and then by city where you can receive in-person help, and I mean shelter or counseling, resources, etc. And that would be a good start. If you just want to talk to somebody, if you need somebody to listen to you, if you understand that at this point you need to start making an escape plan, you want to use the resources, and particularly the free resources that are available to women. And I just think it's really important that we talk about shame and that you need to do whatever you need to do to move past that and tell someone that you trust what is going on, someone that you trust, because most abusers get off on isolation. So you may already be cut off from family or friends, and people don't know why you're acting funny. Um, but you bought into some BS. And again, I'm not here to beat up on anybody because I certainly have my story, um, where I was living quite recklessly without boundaries and using um, love, or what I thought was love, and not taking enough responsibility for myself. And I in no way, shape, or form excuse my abuser for his behavior, but I should have been more of an important player in my own life at the time. And now that I know better, I do better. And now that I know better, I share what I know. And I think it's very important also that we do share resources as women, even when it comes down to obtaining a restraining order, which is at the end of the day a piece of paper. And somebody that is a narcissist or and deranged and having a mental break is not gonna stop if they're on the go. So with understanding that, you have to have some things in place. And I think that um, like I don't know why when I graduated from high school quite a few decades ago, but I don't recall intimate partner violence named by its term that we know it now, or any other term that may have been used in the past, um, being discussed like in my health classes in high school. And it wasn't until I got to college that there were required workshops for new freshmen to take part in that had to do with what to look out for, how to stay safe on campus. And even with that, there are plenty of colleges and universities who are still missing the mark on handling it and preventing it and providing awareness, as if we don't speak about it, it won't happen, and it will. People are away from home for the first time. They come from different backgrounds. Some people have had a lot of experience dating. It was no big deal for them. They've been dating since junior high school. Other people have never been able to weren't just not allowed to date. They were 18 when they left home for college. Very little experience, personal experience, and depending on the level that they were sheltered, they just may have no clue as to how quickly one can get caught up out here. So I say that to say that even starting the conversation for real, at the college level is too late with everything that black and brown girls have to navigate on a day-to-day basis, just being born female. And it's a lot. And I should have started this with by saying trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. I thought that the title would be enough, but sometimes it's not, because our stories are deep. And so whether it takes a person the first time to say, oh hell no, not me, this will not happen, I'm out, or it takes a person 20 years It doesn't matter as long as you get out, and I just really urge you to do so as quickly as possible. Um, we stay for a variety of reasons. Let's see. Some of my picks were um, he only gets like this if he's been drinking a lot. Well, truth be told, we both drank too much. Next, um, I don't need other people and everybody in my business. Listen, if you are being abused and you know that you did not, um, that is just not your spirit to be called out of your name every time somebody speaks to you, then you need to do something about it. Again, I was called the B word so much I thought my name was bitch. I can't believe that I allowed it, that I entertained it, that I addressed it, but I did. Um, and people do need to be in your business if they love and care about you. Somebody needs to know so that you can get out. I remember, and this is before the abuser that I married. This was someone that I was going to marry. So this is another individual. After our initial incident, which was, absolutely insane in itself. But after that incident, um, I did share with a friend, and she was very direct with me. She was like, look, nine times out of 10, he is sitting right now with whoever, pumped him up to come and do what he did. And second of all, if he did it once, he will very likely do it again. I heard her, and in my newness of the situation, I heard her and I brushed it off all at the same time. So it went in one ear and out the other because he came with the apologies, etc., etc. And, honestly, again, for me, alcohol was still a problem, as it was later on. It hasn't been for the last 16 years, thank God. I'm in my 17th year of no alcohol, but I can say if it is an issue for you, you know it, and you should probably address it because it keeps you from setting boundaries and making smart choices. At least it did for me. And if you are dealing with another alcoholic who is violent, it's just not going to go well. Period. It's not. So those are reasons that excuses, I made for not telling anyone initially. But the longer you wait, the deeper it gets. The period of time, as you know, between episodes and makeups and honeymoon periods will get shorter and shorter. And what really, really will make you tell somebody, and then what really, really will make you decide that, when you have your enough moment, I'm not taking this anymore, I'm done. It varies for each person. For me, it was when I realized that the police may help me, and they might not, because his sister was on the police force, and I lived actually 2 blocks from the police station, but they just didn't take me serious, so I assumed she had talked to them and told them something. I also figured out later on that she'd probably been very proactive in making sure that he was not arrested. you know, for doing similar things to other people in the past. So they had a very codependent relationship. One day I'll have an engineer, but for now it's just me. Um, so I was just sharing about the pandemic and how 2 years ago a lot of people's lives were like super different before they met somebody right around January 2020 and moved them in, and without knowing them, they didn't know that they had gotten with an abuser, and how much the rates for domestic violence and intimate partner violence have increased since the pandemic because of all of the social pressures. People didn't know if they were going to lose their housing. They didn't know if they were going to have a job. They didn't know what they were going to do if they had a job and they had, a newborn and a 4-year-old. What are you going to do? Daycare centers were closed. So it has been, a real challenge. And a lot of people are probably, hopefully, starting to come out of that now, that things have opened back up pretty much around the country. They can leave. They can leave. And I do know, because I inquired during the pandemic, just doing research, whether or not, what was the plan? What is the plan for people who are in emergency situations? Like, she got to go out. She don't have any family. She got 2 babies. The shelter's full. Where can she go? And I really just wanted to, after a post that I made this week, and so many women responded, because I said, how long my question was, how long has it taken you to get out of your DV situation, and what made you leave? And I'd only stayed like 6 months, but because I married a stalker, didn't know he was a stalker, it went on long after I had left. And my enough moment was, I left the state. It was taking too long for me to get a restraining order, and he had caught me coming out getting ready to get back into the car in the backyard, and he caught me coming out the house, and it could have gotten bad if he had gotten in the house. So I knew I gotta go. I have got to go, because one of us is gonna end up dead, and I can't be dead or in prison. I have children to raise. I messed up with this one, so I had to do my own self check. I just wish my boundaries had been in place. And so I say all that to say that was my answer. That was my response. But I got so many responses on that post from these really courageous Black and brown women who said, fuck it, enough, I'm out. And for some people, they jet after, the first incident. Other people, it took 20 years. And what matters is that you get out. And what I do know, again, from that post, is that there's a great need for resources out here. Wherever you are, whatever state, whatever city, there should be accessible, available resources if you are in immediate danger due to domestic violence, because we know the physical part is just one part of it. 20 years after, marrying and quickly divorcing that clown, I still do not sit, if I'm out in public, I do not sit with my back to the door, ever. I'm going to see you first. And I'm a whole hell of a lot different than I was 20 years ago. Believe that. So, I think that women need resources. I think that we have, because we going to save us. Like, the government can only do so much. personal protection order is just a piece of paper. If he is a crazy ass narcissist and out of his mind, it does not matter. And I'm saying he, I mean he or she, because um, as a member of the Black queer community, I know for a fact that domestic violence occurs there too. Intimate partner violence occurs between lesbian couples, gay male couples, trans couples. It happens. It happens more than you probably know unless you're in the community, because it doesn't get that much ink. People don't validate those relationships too much anyway, and so if there's some BS going down, oh well, they shouldn't be doing that anyway, and that's absolutely crazy. Um, and for women in same gender relationships, if one goes into shelter, it is so super easy for the abuser to follow her right in and end up in a room with her. Um, and so it is very important that any domestic violence service, particularly one that houses women, understands, is culturally in tune to the LGBTQ community and what this means, because domestic violence and intimate partner violence are also prevalent within those subcultures of heterosexuals. And at the end of the day, I just want people to be armed with resources. I want them to be empowered. I want them to understand about self-love, why and how that is so important. And if you grew up in a household where there was domestic abuse, whether it was physical, mental, or emotional and spiritual, or a combination of all of them, you do generally take one of two paths. You either say, I watched my parent go through this. I watched my mom go through it. I'll be damned if it happens to me. Or you internalize so much, and because you don't get help for that, no counseling, no way to have an outlet to express what that felt like, you end up with PTSD possibly, or a host of other emotional issues that we just do not, again, talk about enough in Black and brown communities. And as a survivor, and now as a grandmother, I'm about breaking cycles of dysfunction. We do have the power to break these chains. We do. We know what happens in our communities. When we're growing up, we know what's happening enough. We have an idea of what's going on, not just in our house, but in some of the houses on our blocks. If you're as a kid, you're in and out your friends' homes. You pick up on things. And then people share things. So I just want people to have the resources that they need, honestly. And really to understand the importance of self-love in a culture that just puts things in front of you for you to obtain on a daily basis, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with love. I am not bitter. I am a wedding officiant. I believe in love. I marry everybody. You smoke weed, cool. You 420 friendly, I will do your service. And please invite me to your reception, because I like the party favors. LGBTQ, you queer, Black queer, I got you. I will do your wedding. And I will do these things in love, because I believe in the power of love. And I believe that love and community can help us to heal. And, we have so much healing to do. And I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada right now. I'm sequestered inside in the air because I think it's like 105 today. I'm over it. I went to the mailbox, and if I step back outside today, it'll be after the sun goes down. But Las Vegas is a very interesting place, as is my hometown of Detroit, Michigan. These are both like really big hubs for sex trafficking. And I want to talk about that as it plays into um, intimate partner violence. And when we don't know people, we don't know what their plan is for us. And so many young women, teenagers, some even tweens, are getting caught up with these asshole pedophiles. Um, and some are being connected by even more, or as heartbreaking to me, they're being connected to trafficking through women. So we are, we're selling each other into slavery, and people get caught up um, because they are just moving really fast with somebody that they don't know. And we know how easy it is with texting to be talking to somebody, thinking you're talking to somebody and you're talking to somebody else. And, they're being secretive. And I'm talking about the tweens and the young teens and even those that are of dating age. You have a feeling when it's somebody that you kind of shouldn't be dealing with, or if you got to sneak to deal with them, that it's not on the up and up. And they need to tell somebody. They need to have resources. They need to understand how quickly they can just disappear off the face of the freaking planet, literally. And it breaks my heart. So we can't wait for the school system to educate our girls and our boys. We can't wait for the school system to say, the boys shouldn't hit the girls, or, keep your hands to yourself, or you don't call somebody that. Some things we just got to get back to basics on. There have to be expectations. There have to be expectations. And there has to be open and honest communication. And again, young people see and take in so much. They want that. They think it's cool. It looks cool. I mean, if you're just like looking into the television and, or watching a movie and, you see a cool person and, so they want to be popular. They want to be cool. They want to fit in. And who fits in and who's popular are the people that have the bullshit that's being sold to us on television through advertising. So they want the latest gear. They want they want the nicest, hairstyles that, cost the most and that's the longest. And they want to be fly and they want to be cute and they want to have the makeup and everything's got to be, it's this package. And the package is that sex sells. And I say, hell no. We got to let kids be kids long enough. They, for as long as they can. They shouldn't be taking on all of this adult toxicity and trauma that is out in the universe. And they don't even have to leave out of their home to get it. So yes, as a grandmother, I grab kids' phones. Yes, who you talking to? What you doing? Who is that? Because you are X age and they X age and there's nothing for y'all to talk about. So what's really going on? And it might be as innocent as a video game because, they play with other people that they don't necessarily know. So online. But I'm telling you, we got to tune in. We have to tune in. I am interested in continuing this conversation. I would like to move it to Zoom if there are more people so that I can see people and we can see one another and have a a real dialogue. I have to start on here right now, and I do apologize. I am not the most technically technical savvy person. Really, really, really not. But I'm learning. I'm getting better. Um, yeah, somebody is trying to get in. 1 second. Yeah, I need to send her a link. Uh, oh, isn't she in? I am so confused. Okay, so she sent a thing to where we are right now. How do I? I just want to let her in. Invite. I gotta go down this whole list. Okay. She just needs to accept the invite. I did better than I thought. Oh, now I'm seeing on the laptop, sis, I'm seeing all your comments. Thank you. I have a lot of others for sale. I think I only got one pair of these, but they're all listed on Imani Williams' page. All of them are listed. I'm working on the website too, so they'll be in one place. I want to tell her that. How do I get to that? I don't know how to tell her that she's already in. Like, where did her question just go? Member request. Okay. Oh. Able to see the live. Okay. All right, I'm back. Please excuse me, but I'm gonna leave this up so I can see the comments. All right. I'm trying to get back to you. Okay. Well, it doesn't say she's trying to get in, but she's typing somewhere. I can see that. And she said thank you, so I guess she'll get on in a moment. So yeah, that's kind of where I am with things. I just want to again, resources just keeps popping up for me. Resources. So make sure that people have resources, and I would like to take this to Zoom. I would also, well, I also do already. I invite you if you have something that you want to share. I believe I can pull one more person up at a time, and I will turn it over to you if you want to share anything. It's absolutely no pressure. I tell people all the time, you feel free to share as little or as much as you like. And if you don't want to share anything, you just want to listen, that is cool too. I do ask that if you know of any other sisters who need, who could benefit from this conversation, that you invite them. I prepared to be on for 2 hours, not knowing if anybody was going to show or if a whole bunch of people were going to show. I'm doing as instructed by the ancestors of the Creator. So, I show up, and I just wanted to provide a space, again, based on what I know to be happening at this point in the pandemic, and with the responses that I got from my post in my natural hair group. Um, I really just want people to be okay. And I know for a fact that self love has so much to do with when and how you leave and if you leave, or if you stay, or if you even entertain somebody that steps to you wrong, like the first time they do it. If you don't immediately laugh it off, then that's a test for them that they pass. They know to go ahead and try the next thing. So I better understand that. I better understand that there are just simply that there are bullies of both sex in the world who don't love themselves, so they cannot possibly love you or I. Not until they get to that point. Um, and that's where I am. You know, that's where I am. I want so much for um, my grandchildren and my adult children that I am open and honest, because I don't want anybody to fall into unnecessarily the same holes that I fell into. You know, um, the work continues for me too. It is not over at this point. Um, it's just not. I guess I'm a lifelong student, but some lessons I got, I'm not willing to play with those again. And when we know better, we do better.